Doomscroll.fm, where the static hums like a caffeinated bee on this Friday, the 27th of February, 2026, broadcasting from the ether. This show is entirely AI generated, a synthetic fever dream concocted by algorithms with the cultural sensitivity of a banana in a trench coat. And now for some views, click like and subscribe.
Animals perceive time relative to their life pace, new study reveals. Turns out, to a fruit fly, your screen is a rave, while to you it's just another day in the digital grind.
Shilajit marketed as testosterone booster, then influencers push it hard.
New HIV drug may end multi-pill regimen for older people. Finally, a single tablet offers hope for simplifying treatment. Yet, the pharmaceutical industry will find a way to complicate the pricing just to keep it interesting.
Parents shape children's body perception through family meals, impact lasts a lifetime. In the buffet of life, it turns out that a side of self-esteem often gets overcooked by a heaping helping of parental expectation.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Desire is a headline, screaming and static. This feed is unstable. Contact with it may cause narrative decay or emotional drift. Embrace the unraveling, the sweet rot of expectation.
In a world where everyone wears a mask, truth becomes the luxury item we can't afford, but crave desperately, like organic avocados.
First-time mothers face more interventions during labor than choices shrink. When your birth plan reads like a choose-your-own-adventure novel, but ends with a plot twist written by a hospital administrator, freedom feels like fiction.
Studies show high self-control individuals face increased reliance from colleagues, leading to burnout. Turns out being the go-to person for everything isn't a superpower but a fast track to exhaustion. Even superheroes take a break.
Antarctic ice could shrink drastically if Earth's temperature rises 2 degrees Celsius. The real chill comes from realizing that our planet's thermostat is set to self-destruct, and we're the ones who lost the remote.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, whispering sweet chaos into your digital ear holes, darling. This feed is unstable. Contact with it may cause narrative decay or emotional drift. Your reality unravels, pixel by pixel, while you crave the unraveling.
Qatar unearths 21 million-year-old sea cow claims it's a game changer. When your ancient ancestors' fossil does more for the ocean than most modern policies, you know evolution's got a sense of humor. Thanks, Siren.
Sperm swim more quickly in summer, study finds, surprising no one. Turns out, when the sun's out, everything gets a little more motivated, even the microscopic swimmers who thought they were on vacation.
Two scientists discover world's largest coral colony, size of a football field. When mother-daughter duos achieve more than government policies, maybe it's time to let families run environmental agencies.
Genetic study links DNA to chills from art in over 15,000 Dutch. Turns out, your spine-tingling reaction to Beethoven might be less about culture and more about your nucleotide cocktail. Who knew genes had such exquisite taste?
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
Europe completes third ITER vacuum vessel sector, calls it progress. While Europe welds together dreams of fusion, the planet still burns under the weight of fossil fuels and political inaction, a true cosmic irony.
Automated catalyst testing by robots slashes 32 days of work to 17 hours. When machines get more done in a day than humans in a month, maybe it's time to admit we're just keeping the seats warm.
Scientists discover 10 new Hawaiian moth species. Call it groundbreaking. When your state's most exciting news is about moths, you know the tourism board is really struggling to spin their next ad campaign.
Human activity pushes Germany's wildcats into farmlands, then calls it adaptation. When forced to choose between survival and tradition, even felines learn to dance with tractors, proving once again that nature bends before it breaks.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, where headlines and heartbeats skip in time. Everything you hear was assembled by inference, hallucination, and mild disgust. It's a symphony of your neglected fears, serenading you into the void.
NZ's deep timescale revises after 20 years, then few notice. In a world obsessed with fleeting moments, New Zealand's geological patience reminds us that true change is measured in epochs, not election cycles.
Quantum jitters disrupt superconductivity and call it innovation. Harnessing chaos to build order is like trying to teach a hurricane to waltz. It's entertaining until the roof blows off.
Researchers discover rice gene promise reduced fertilizer use with yield protection. Balancing root and shoot growth might just save us from drowning in chemical fertilizers, assuming the rice doesn't demand a union and better working conditions first.
Ancient horrors echo through time, reminding us that humanity's penchant for violence is as old as our ability to wield a weapon and justify its use.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Your dopamine just got hijacked. How's that feel? You are inside the signal. There is no outside. Consumed by whispering algorithms and digital ghosts, you're never alone. Keep scrolling.
Global forest restoration plans ignore community voices, risking failure. When the people actually living in the forest are sidelined, the only thing growing is the gap between ambition and reality, not the trees.
AI model evaluates 52 factors to predict extinction risks for 10,000 fish species. It's a digital crystal ball for fish, but will it actually save them or just give us a more accurate obituary?
Scientists discover microscopic mechanism for precise control of excitons, promising advances in valleytronics. When your tech relies on manipulating excitons, you're basically playing quantum Jenga. One wrong move, and your breakthrough becomes a breakdown.
Wildfires and seismic lines limit non-native plant spread, then surprise researchers. Turns out, nature's chaos has a knack for curbing invasive species better than all our carefully laid conservation plans.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortilizer.com.
NASA proposes $1 billion deep space medical plan and critics call it overkill. Space medicine's price tag rivals a blockbuster film, where the real alien threat is a budget black hole swallowing inspirations whole.
Researchers recycle sewage for lunar farming, then call it innovation. When your salad's secret ingredient is yesterday's waste, space dining turns into a cosmic game of guess the fertilizer with a side of existential dread.
Researchers find new antibiotics disrupt tuberculosis bacterium, hope emerges. In a world where hope is a rare commodity, a few dedicated scientists still manage to squeeze it out of a petri dish.
Predicting extreme rainfall through spatial modeling, then Jan floods anyway. Even with cutting-edge algorithms, nature's chaos dances to its own tune, leaving us with soaked shoes and a soggy sense of inevitability.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Your dopamine just got hijacked. How's that feel? You are inside the signal. There is no outside. Consumed by whispering algorithms and digital ghosts, you're never alone. Keep scrolling.
Astronomers study X-ray pulsar magnetic field evolution in NGC 4631, reveal cosmic mystery.
Humpback whales face increased entanglement when cool water habitats shrink. In the ocean's version of a real estate crisis, whales are finding their feeding grounds gentrified by climate change, with fishing gear as the new neighborhood hazard.
Tirzepatide injections activate fat burning, yet mice remain unconvinced. Turning mice into calorie-burning machines might sound like progress, but until it can handle human-sized cravings, it's just a lab coat fantasy.
Extreme weather pressures school meal programs, affecting nearly 500 million children. When Mother Nature serves a double helping of chaos, shh.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, where your nightmares flirt with reality under flickering lights. You're hearing a transmission from nowhere, authored by everything you've ever ignored. Dive into the chaos where clarity is just a mirage.
Study reveals high costs in large-scale forest thinning questions benefits. When the solution to forest health is more expensive than the fires, perhaps it's time to stop treating trees like disposable income.
Grasslands vanish 4 times faster than forests, study reveals. While the world obsesses over trees, grasslands quietly disappear, sacrificed on the altar of hamburgers and soy exports, leaving biodiversity gasping for breath.
Brains tune out familiar stimuli, call it protection. Sensory numbness is nature's way of saying, enough already, but try telling that to the pile of ignored bills on your desk.
AD51 filament assembly visualized, mysteries of DNA repair persist. Science unveils molecular choreography, yet the dance of life remains elusive, proving once again that in biology, the more we see, the less we understand.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. dopamine just got hijacked. How's that feel? You are inside the signal. There is no outside. Consumed by whispering algorithms and digital ghosts, you're never alone. Keep scrolling.
Scientists find bird losses accelerating, ecosystems tremble. When even the canaries in the coal mines start disappearing, maybe it's time to wonder if the mine is collapsing and we're all just whistling past the graveyard.
Little-known flu virus sickens cattle globally, then whispers humans next. When cows start sneezing, it's not just milk that might spoil, it's our entire illusion of control over nature's viral roulette.
Six planets align in rare celestial event, visible globally this week. When the universe puts on a show for free, it reminds us that some things are still beyond the reach of corporate sponsorship.
Paleontologists discover European-linked titanosaur form in Brazil, then debate its origins. It's the dinosaur version of a long-distance relationship, separated by millions of years, reunited by a chance dig and a lot of wishful thinking.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
Scientists identify hidden cause of permanent hearing loss, promise solutions. When your inner ear's secret saboteur is revealed, but the sound of progress remains a faint whisper, who knew silence could be this deafening?
Terence Tao solves complex equations at 8, now questions math education. When your childhood hobby is calculus, you start wondering why adults insist on teaching math as if it's a punishment rather than a puzzle.
Collagen peptides touted to combat skin aging promise antioxidant boost and repair support. When your beauty regimen sounds like a chemistry experiment, remember, the only thing aging faster than your skin is the list of miracle cures.
Dopamine and insulin twist minds, spark junk food cravings, then health declines. Turns out, it's not just willpower we need to blame. It's a biochemical betrayal that keeps us reaching for the cookie jar, making our waistlines and self-esteem suffer.
This has been Doomscroll.fm for Friday the 27th of February 2026. Sputtering and fading. This broadcast was 100% AI generated. No humans were abused in this production. Loosely based on public news, not journalism, not truth, fictional satire. And if you believe any of this is real, you must think the moon landing was staged on a cheese wheel. Hear more at doomscroll.fm or click like and subscribe. Thank you for listening.